Three and two and one. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever it is you're located. Thanks for watching. You're watching DC Born Rob Erasing Borders. I'm going to practice talking a little bit slower because, again, we have a special guest tonight, and that's going to be Vanessa. She is our channel attorney. And because we got so much feedback from the video about being a stepdad there, I asked her then, would she come back on? So hopefully she's got this invite. She was here, but I think we went out and start back. So I'll wait for her to come back. And I have a few questions. Let me see, it looks like I got a couple people watching. If someone can comment a 1, if you can hear me, and a 3, if you can hear me and see me, because this game is sketchy and you never know. So let me get my questions together. She's willing to, okay, I see my 1s. Thank you guys. I am going to start as soon as she's available too. And we're going to try to keep this to exactly an hour. So we're starting now at 6. We shall be done by 7 because I know some people are going to come and some people are going to go. I got my 1s and 3s. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you all. And again, in time when she is ready, let's see, present or invite. I'm waiting for Vanessa. She was here and I don't know if she got kicked out. So I'm waiting for her to come back. Now, the reason, the purpose for this meeting is to understand how the new interpretation of the parents of the upbringing of the children, or they call it padres de crianza, affects foreigners. Okay, how does this affect you? If you're dating a Colombiana, a Paisa, and she happens to have kids, how does this affect you? When I spoke last time, let me put this out here too. When I spoke last time, I spoke about my having a stepdad. That all had to do with being here in the States, not so much in Colombia, because after some of the comments I saw from you guys, man, there's so many different buried situations some of you have found yourselves in, questions I could not answer. And of course, they had to go to the attorney. So I'm waiting for her to come back on. But again, we're hoping to understand how the new interpretations of this new law comes into effect. It looks like it's not as strict as the story made it seem, or we're going to find out shortly, though. But also to clarify risk, obligations, and protections for U.S. citizens who live with or are in relationships with a partner who happens to have children in Colombia. From my understanding is if you act as though, then you are. So if you present yourself, just like here, this is my wife. You keep saying, this is my wife, this is my wife. You say that for 6 months, a year, and guess what? That's your wife. That's your common law wife. Again, I still go back to the situation of Timothy Reed, who was murdered in Barranquilla, Colombia on April 20th, 4 years ago. The young lady that he was dating, well, the young lady that he knew her for 3 years to the day. I'm sorry, 3 months to the day till he passed. He met her on January 20th, and he was murdered on April 20th. So that's where she and I, again, had the falling out, because she seemed to think they lived together. And I said, well, you just got the house on Friday, and he was murdered on Monday. So you've been living it. And really, they really wasn't living there. There was no furniture or anything in there. He had just got the place on Friday. So in short, she ended up with $180,000 property. That's the conservative number. And if you haven't, because I took my girl back, I told my girlfriend about these stories and how that story affected me. And I showed her the interview with the family. And so just to bring her back up to speed. And that story's got to touch you, man. This is unsolved after going through a lot of these stories down there. It's unfortunate it happens to be this way. It's just unfortunate. Dennis, whoa, bro. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Appreciate the support, the onward support. Man, you guys are awesome. I have some of the best viewers. I think I have this checked right now for subscribers only, for those who've taken time to to subscribe, then you'll be able to comment. So much appreciated. Again, I don't do this for the money. So this right here, anything from Dennis or anyone else, any of the super chats, the kind words, again, the likes, the subs, the shares, they are greatly appreciated. And it does motivate me to continue on. I've been doing this 6 years now. And I guess the last 2 or 3 years in stories and news. So hopefully I'm doing a good job for you guys. If you're still sticking around, let me know in the comments section. Let me know what you think. The comments help, man. At least the communication. I do the best with responding. Let's see. Questions about the law itself. What activates the responsibility? Okay, so let me see. Let me see what happened if she got kicked out or have. Are you there? Let me see. What is this? This is prison. Okay, yeah, she just popped off my stream. Whoa, much thanks also. Much thanks to Dennis B all the time, over and over and over again. And guys, let me know if you want me to say your full name. Sometimes I don't like without your prior approval. I'm not going to put your whole name out, but I will put the name of your @ So Tech Geek 44.99, much appreciated. Thank you greatly for the support. Any of this change in Colombia, child support, alimony, this is what we're getting ready to talk about right now. Splitting the assets, premarital agreements. I am, let's see, hungover. Hungover, considering I'm going hungover. I think hungovery. Considering ongoing marrying a Colombian woman, but will not bring her to the United States. I mean, I've always thought, you're going to date somebody in the Philippines, Thailand, Colombia, don't bring her back here. Because, I mean, I thought that was the whole reason to go in there is getting something different. You bring her back here, she's going to assimilate. Next thing you know, she's going to be just like everybody else. So maybe you'll be as blessed as I am. I found a woman, man, 3 miles away. For real. I ain't had to get on a plane. And she is a phenomenal woman. She looked out for me last night. This lady is just... Man, if you find something half this good, you will be blessed. And I am truly blessed with this. And if anybody has any questions, any just general questions, any before I do some channel maintenance while I wait for her to come back. I don't know. She lost internet. Oh, she's okay. Tell me. Okay, he's connecting and he's there. No. Okay. Vanessa speaks some English, just like I speak some Spanish, but so that we don't have to speak slowly, because remember this, and I think a lot of Americans or just people who don't speak Spanish forget, when we talk fast, hey, I'm going over to the store, man, meet me up, what's the name of it? And we talk real fast, they get lost. All they hear is blah, blah, blah. The same thing, I can pick up some words, but when somebody get on a roll, I've heard people, wait, I heard something about work. That's all I heard. And a hot dog or some chicken. That's all I heard. So it's the same thing. So instead of me having to speak extremely slowly so that the words are caught, she's bringing her own interpreter. So we have some basic questions. I have some basic questions set up. What activates the responsibility in that case of being a stepdad? What legally qualifies as assuming a parental role, parent of the upbringing? What actions create legal risks? Living together, paying occasional expenses, participating in school or medical matters. Some of you guys had some good questions. What's the trigger? At what point are you on the hook is basically what you want to know. And I know a lot of people were like, man, I'm cutting off my relationship tonight. And as far as in the comment section, a couple of you guys did it. Now, that wasn't my intention by putting this out there, but this law is out there. And remember, common law is real. Timothy Reed's girlfriend said that, we got engaged. When you go back and look at my video when I interviewed the family and I said, did any of y'all know her? And they're like, no. And they kept saying, girlfriend. Well, no. He would have told us. That case is still troubling. Let me try her one more time. I don't see you. Vanessa, can you go back out and come back in? because I don't see you to be able to bring you in. No, looks like I can bring up a video from here. I didn't know that this is always changing, and now they took some of the features away, but they've added a couple back because I'm using the free version. Anybody, if you have any questions, throw them up when she comes up. And again, she's bringing her, sorry about the spelling mistakes. I'm just considering, let me click it, put it up. Sorry about the spelling mistakes. I'm just considering marrying a Colombian woman, but I won't bring her back to the United States. That's what I'm saying. Does she have kids by any chance? She is there. I do not see her to be able to bring her on. So she may want to go out and come back in. Yeah, I can only see myself. Yeah, okay, appreciate it. Yeah, she does have one kid. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to be, I mean, you love this woman enough. I mean, that's how I ended up. I mean, I told you, I dated my ex for, I don't know, quite a few years. And she had a bunch of kids, 4 at home. But I talked to my stepdad, or my dad, before hooking up with him, saying, well, you know, what made you, you know, date my mom, even though she had 2 kids and I was one of them. And I was a bad kid, man. DC was hard on some brothers, man. Being a child in DC was interesting. Always something going on. But I got some stories for you. Let me tell you, I can invite some people on here that they shock you though. Okay, no, I still don't see her. CB Lee. Shout out to New York. Oh, I know, bro. It's 50 something right now. Remember, if you don't notice my shirt, Sancocho en la Ocho, I've been promoting this with Sean for the past 3 weeks. It is coming up this Monday. It is a holiday weekend, which means you got an extra night. That means you got Friday night. Shoot, if you're there now, you got Thursday night, but Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night to party. And I know, well, I know it was raining a couple of days ago. Somebody let me know what the weather's like there. Dreaming of hot Medellin, man. Yeah, I'm dreaming of cool Medellin. I miss it. Like I said, the whole time I lived there, I never shut my windows, never shut my balcony door, never shut my living room window. I mean, one time a fly came in. When I first moved there, I panicked. Oh man, don't tell me what's a fly doing up here on the 14th floor? Anyway, he just went out the other side because I ain't got nothing for him. I ain't had nothing laying around for him. But again, if anybody has any questions, Vanessa, you're gonna have to get out and get back in. I can't be the one to get out and get back in, but you just disappeared from my screen. So I'm waiting for her to come back. Let's see. Let me at least go over some of the other stories. Let's see. 42 in Phoenix tonight. 42 is cold in Phoenix because you don't even have humidity there. Let's see. Cool. Medellin is better. Real Fields is better than here. I'm in Houston, and what is it right now at night? Probably 50. I don't know what happened, Vanessa. I cannot see you. I cannot see you at all. Can you try on your cell phone? Please. I had you here and started a stream and you disappeared. Let's see. From Google, there is no exact number for single mothers in Medellin, but as of 2020, report indicated that 35% of the children in Colombia live in single parent families, with the majority headed by women. Yeah. My understanding is it's hard to find the guys. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can't comment. They do that here too. I don't know. I've only dated one person with kids. I've never wanted kids, never dated anybody with kids, got married. She didn't want to have kids. So we were always well. And then dated somebody, you know, you hook up with somebody, you accept the entire package. And that's just the way it goes. So you're dating somebody there, you're in love with them. You know, you trust them. You live there. That's your family. But everybody got different situations. I knew I was going to get some comments. I knew I was going to get some comments right now. I knew it. Okay. Shout out to Medellin, 74 in San Diego. Man, San Diego got the best weather. Well, they're tied. I say San Diego and Key West. Best weather year round in the city. Michigan, damn, 12 degrees. What was it here? I was checking. 49. Damn, 49. Yeah, just left Medellin. Tuesday, it was my 6th trip to Colombia. Cartagena 2 times, Bogota 2 times. See, there's people come and go, but I'm going to guess Tech Geek is prepared. He know how to travel. And guys, I can't implore you enough to take a tour. You're not really a tourist if you're not taking any tours. So you got families show up, you got girls show up, and they all say, "Where you going?" Oh, we're going to see this. We're going to that. We're going to Pueblito Paisa. We're going to El Peñol, Guatape. They got the schedule all planned out, and you show up and say, "I'm going on vacation." You know, or if you're coming from the east, I'm on holiday. I can't tell you how many times I heard that in Thailand. How long you on holiday? But there you feel comfortable enough to say it. Hell, I'm at an ATM at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning and feel comfortable. Can't do that in Colombia. 72 showing off. Nope. We're better not humid. I hear you. 66 in Bucaramanga. We got Bucaramanga in the house. Anybody else in Colombia? I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I was hoping to get on here for one quick hour. Let me. I don't know if the link changed. But let me send this to her again. I think it's the same link. ED. Just a second, guys. No, it's a different link. It's a different link. So hopefully, Vanessa, check your email. Hang on, guys. Hopefully this works. So let's give her a couple of minutes. Anybody else? Again, Sancocho en la Ocho is this Monday. That's where Sean and Andres with Viajar Libremente and Nomad Travel, respectively, are feeding an entire community, and that is the El Faro neighborhood. That's my charity there. That's right. So you go up there, you see the kids' toys, the kids' play area. We help pay for that. So get up there, be an American, don't be scared going up there now. And there'll be a pin in the description of my videos too. So there's a pin if you want to go up on your own. There's one bus. Again, when I first did that tour 6 months ago, they had just started getting bus service 6 months prior to that. So that means for 20, 25 years, they have been just climbing up the side of the mountain. Wonder why they so fit? Because hell, ain't no air. And they still able to just do. And here I am struggling going up Calle Diaz. Okay, who else we got here? Shesta always wanted to visit Bucaramanga. There's a few places that I see. Luis, if you see this, let me pop you on a link because he's in Cartagena. I believe he's still there, living life good. Thanksgiving there too. It's been raining every day in Medellin, but since Saturday. But tell me this though, it still rains and comes, right? It's not like rainy season in Vietnam or anything. We can't see start time of the stream. We can't see the start time. I'm not sure what that means. Kev, give me some feedback on that one, and you can shoot me an email or whatever. Then I'm going to CTG. There you go. That's just not on my list. Let's see. I Okay, hang on. Add to stage. There she is. Okay, I see you. I see you. Hang on. Okay. Hi, Vanessa. How are you?
Very well. Sorry.
Okay. And how about David? He needs the link too, right?
Yes. David is her.
No.
Le voy a enviar el link. The new link.
See, yeah. Can you send to him? Okay. Okay, so we'll bring David. We'll get going. So maybe we'll hang on another 15 minutes. Hang on with me, guys, because I know there's going to be some questions. Well, I have a list of questions. So I think this is going to touch on my list of questions. It's going to touch on mostly everything that you guys have brought up. But if you have anything that's out of the ordinary, and again, if you need an attorney, call Vanessa. Her contact information is in the description of all my videos too. I don't know what happened with that link. I don't know what made me wait to figure that out either. I'm too old to be diagnosing things. I need tech support. I need help. That's what I need. If anybody wants to be a local reporter, and you are there in Medellin, you have a small YouTube channel, you're trying to get going. If our vibe, if we have any synergy at all, by all means, I'll be glad to bring you on to read some of these stories, especially when you can show video of it there. But the stories that I'm reading are coming from publications like El Colombiano or Minuto 30. So Alerta Paisa, these are local news stories. So for those who say I'm just making this stuff up, I'm reading their actual stories. So this is just not the channel for you. I will also tell you guys, I learned at an early age, stick with people that are going the same place that you're going. You know what I mean? Positive people. For me, it takes a lot of energy to get up here, smile, and do the best I can all the time. Because sometimes I don't feel like it. Sometimes I'm not in a good mood. But this is still me. This is just the good side of me. Because I got other sides, just like you do too. But I just choose not to put that on air. Why get up here cursing and and have an attitude? So I would like to put out positivity and just be as positive as I can always. Doesn't always work out like that. Okay, here comes David. We figured it out. David, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you? Good to meet you.
I am fantastic. I apologize for that. I don't know what happened with the link. The link I sent out early was the link that was here, and good thing I checked it. But it looks like we have everybody here today. I was going to try to keep this from 6 p.m. Central to 7, but we may have to go a little bit longer. I have my list. I don't know if you have the same list of questions in front of you, but we can start when both of you guys are ready. Oh, well, first of all, you want to introduce yourself, David?
Yeah, my name is David Wilson. I'm an attorney in Florida. I do criminal defense and immigration law.
Okay. So if anybody needs an attorney, you're in Florida, go ahead and give David his spell.
Let me clarify. I now live in Medellin.
Okay,
so mainly now I'm concentrating on immigration issues pertaining to U.S. citizens wanting to, bring loved ones back, that sort of thing.
Okay, you busy. That's what that means, because there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let me see if I don't know if you have the questions written, and I'm getting a little feedback.
I do. I have them.
Mine is starting with, and you tell me the number 2 says, I think my questions are, number 1 starts with the purpose of the meeting.
What I have as number 1 is what's assuming a parental role.
Okay. I think maybe I numbered that number 2. Question is law itself. What activates the responsibility? What legally qualifies as assuming a parental role?
Exactly. That's what I have as number 1.
Okay. So I'm misnumbered. I have it as 2. I have the first one as just an introduction. Okay. So what you tell? Well, you can pass this on if you would pass on. If you don't understand, Vanessa, to speak maybe 2 sentences at a time and 2 to 3 sentences, and then let David interpret, because if she goes too long, then we'll start losing people. But okay, so simply put it, she can keep the answers as simple as possible. What activates the responsibility? What legally qualifies as assuming a parental role?
Entonces la pregunta, Vane, es ¿qué es lo que califica para cuando alguien empieza a asumir un rol, bueno, de padre? And let me, 1 minute, Rob, correct? Let me ask you, you're talking about non-biological children, correct?
I'm sorry, I'm having to cut this off. I'm getting a little feedback. Could you repeat that, David?
The question pertains to obviously non-biological children, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Entonces, Vanessa, sí, esa es la pregunta y tiene que ver con obviamente hijos que no son nacidos del padre o la madre. I can't hear.
You're muted, Vanessa.
Vanessa, no te podemos oír.
Sí, es importante resaltar, sí, que no siempre los hijos se van a declarar hijos de crianza. Son casos específicos que deben cumplir 3 aspectos. Primero, un vínculo afectivo.
Déjame traducir lo que acabas de decir.
Sí.
So she wants to clarify that not all situations are, in other words, there has to be 3 specific things that need to be met in order to qualify as someone who's taken over as a parental role, right? So what she's basically saying is if you're dating somebody and they have a child, right, you don't automatically start assuming a parental role just because the relationship turns serious. So now she's gonna tell us the 3 qualifications. Okay. Ahora las 3 cosas. Requisitos.
Sí. Son 3 elementos para que se configuren legalmente. El primero, y uno de los más importantes, es que haya un vínculo afectivo.
Okay, so the first one, the first requirement for the law to recognize that you've taken on a parental role is that you've actually taken a critical step to establish some sort of a relationship, right? So be it marriage, be it you all move in together and now you're sharing the household. The step parent starts, I don't know, paying for school, healthcare, things like that.
El segundo, que haya una autoridad y cuidado. Eso quiere decir que el padrastro en este caso haya desempeñado cuidado, esté pendiente de ciertos aspectos del menor en cuestión, que por ejemplo esté pendiente de pagar sus cuentas, que en un largo tiempo, ¿no?, se demuestre que haya tenido una autoridad sobre ese menor.
So
autoridad y cuidado.
Going on with the first requirement, the second requirement kind of piggybacks off of that and is it's time based, right? It has to be over some sort of a kind of a long-term period, not let's say 2 weeks.
El tercero, y no menos importante, obviamente es el factor económico, que se demuestre un aporte constante y significativo de la manutención del menor en cuestión.
So the third requirement is that it must be demonstrated that the step parent has actually made a significant economic contribution to, well, the lifestyle of the child, right? And going back to the other two. So they kind of build upon each other.
Cabe aclarar que no siempre se va a declarar esa relación, ¿sí? Depende del juez con las pruebas necesarias, tenerla para que se declare y de esa forma se desliguen ciertas obligaciones por parte del padrastro.
Yeah, so you got to keep it clear that, I mean, just because there is, like, let's say a dating relationship, and the stepfather is, or the potential stepfather may have helped out here and there, that's not sufficient, right? It has to be more concrete. So in the U.S., we tend to know this to what amounts to be a common law marriage, right? Where the couple don't necessarily marry, via the church or legally, but they cohabitate for such a long period of time. Then the law in certain states views them as common law married. California is one example of a state that does that.
What?
And so that happens here in Colombia too.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Someone's asking, could you put a time frame on common law?
Vanessa, son 2 años, ¿verdad? Para que sea, el matrimonio civil sin haberse casado. Creo que me dijiste eso.
Sí, pero esa es la parte, lo que pasa es que tenemos que entender que hay 2 factores en la convivencia. La parte de convivencia y la parte de acción, o sea, cuando hay una relación patrimonial de hecho, ¿sí? Son 2 cosas muy diferentes. La parte económica sí comienza a regir a partir de esos 2 años.
Okay. So yeah, generally speaking, in order for here in Colombia, in order for them to even start to think about recognizing a union as let's say a common law marriage, it has to be a minimum of 2 years. So in other words, living together for 2 months is not enough.
Okay.
Cabe aclarar que todas esas cosas, para que sean declaradas legalmente, tienen que pasar por un proceso judicial y las convivencias tienen que ser interrumpidas, es decir, que se demuestre que sí hubo un vínculo afectivo durante esos 2 años. Muchas veces no se logra demostrar, otras veces sí. Depende de cada caso en particular.
So what Vanessa's trying to do is making the emphasis that in order for this to even happen, well, a couple of things need to happen. Number one, it needs to be through a court order, but more importantly, the living together arrangement has to be uninterrupted for that 2-year period. In other words, there can't be an on and off again type situation.
Okay, hang on. Do you, Vanessa, do you have your phone on as well as the laptop? I'm hearing an echo. I'm trying to figure this out, and everybody else is hearing an echo too. I hear it in my ear.
Te está preguntando, Vanessa, si vos tenés tu teléfono prendido o igual con tu computadora o... I don't hear any echoes.
Yeah, I hear it and everybody else does. You're the only one that's clear.
No, estoy desde mi teléfono.
She's transmitting or broadcasting via her phone. She doesn't have her computer.
Okay, now TMXN is not an echo. I can hear myself off my earbud. Okay, they're sending translator. Oh yeah, you're clear. The only thing, David is clear. Okay, well, let me get to the next question then. Well, we've already gone over when the obligation begins and how long it lasts. Can the obligation be retroactive?
Esta obligación paternal se puede aplicar en retroactividad.
Depende de cada caso en particular. Si se logra demostrar dicha dependencia económica y afectiva, sí se puede. Depende de cada caso en particular. Hay casos que sí, hay casos que no. Depende también del juez que lo decida. Es que los casos cada...
So it's a case by case basis, but really the primary factor in determining whether or not it would be retroactive is how significant the financial dependence of that child became because of the contribution that the step parent was making. But it's a case by case basis, and it's based really on that.
Okay, and well, tell me, can you hear me now? And do I have an echo? If anybody, let me know. But when does it end? Does it end at 18 or 25? We saw different. It mentioned 25 in the story.
¿Cuándo es que la obligación, digamos, al niño termina? ¿Cuando cumplan 18 años o cuando cumplan 25? ¿O hay alguna edad predeterminada?
Mira, en Colombia, eso es parte del derecho civil familia. Todo lo rige el código, pero, por ejemplo, si el niño es menor de edad, listo, hasta los 18, pero si el chico está en la universidad, hasta que demuestre esa dependencia económica de que esté en la universidad, hasta que no termine la universidad, en muchos casos. Y otra es los discapacitados, que ellos sí pueden estar toda la vida.
Okay, entonces, in Colombia, definitely before they turn 18, you know, you still have that obligation. After they turn 18, and let's say they're at the university, that obligation is going to continue until that child, or now a young adult, can demonstrate their own, let's say, financial independence. And then the other case would be in a situation where that child is somehow handicapped. I don't want to, offend anybody, but, somebody who, I don't know, maybe they got into an accident or something and ended up in a wheelchair, or they have some sort of, a birth defect, right? So it could be never ending, actually, is what she's saying.
Okay.
In that third case.
Yeah. Okay. Dave, they're still hearing an echo on me. I hope this is okay for you, but I'm willing to turn this show over to you. You have the questions in front of you. If you just want to ask Vanessa the questions, and she's going to have her answer and you reply. I think I may be the problem until I can figure this out.
Okay. Básicamente lo que él está diciendo es que con el eco, tal vez sería mejor si yo te sigo preguntando las preguntas y después lo hacemos entre nosotros hasta que él arregle el eco. I don't hear an echo.
I hear it, and I'm getting it in the comment section. They're telling me it's me. Everybody, I guess both of you guys are fine. Yeah, so I left off at the section that says, how do judges calculate child support for a stepfather or stepmother? Mothers too.
I'm sorry, what was that now?
I left it at how do judges calculate child support for a stepfather or stepmother?
Yeah. ¿Cómo es que el sistema judicial calcula qué debe de ser el monto de aportación de parte del padre o la madre?
Mira, eso se basa en los ingresos de las partes. Lo que sí hay que dejar claro es que van 50-50 Y todo depende también del estilo de vida que lleve el menor. Porque, por ejemplo, una madre pone la casa, el padre pone el colegio, la ropa, todo eso se hace en una audiencia donde se citan y si se logra un acuerdo, se hace mancomunadamente, se tasa, eso tiene una fórmula para tasarla, en cada caso es específico, y si no llegan a un acuerdo, se hace un juicio y ahí se tiene que tasar el monto.
So to answer that question, actually, this should be somewhat familiar, especially to your listeners that may be in Florida. It's almost exactly like it is in Florida. It starts off at a 50-50, where each parent is obligated to pay 50%, right? And then they use a formula, just like in Florida, to look at who makes more money. And who's got the I guess the stronger financial position, and then that formula then dictates what the amount should be, depending mainly on income.
Okay, if you want to take it away with the questions, I think the next one is there a minimum amount?
Okay. La próxima pregunta, Vanessa, es si hay un aporte mínimo que hay que hacer. Por ejemplo, para ponértelo en contexto, hay casos, digamos, en Florida donde donde porque el padre gana tanta plata, ¿verdad? Que la madre no tiene que aportar nada. Entonces, la pregunta es, ¿hay situaciones donde hay un aporte mínimo?
Mira, todo depende de cuánto ganen los padres. Y si el padre no aporta en dinero, por ejemplo, lo que te digo, tiene que aportar en cuidados, tiene que aportar en vivienda. O sea, se dividen los roles. El que no aporta en dinero debe aportar en, por ejemplo, ir al niño acompañando al fútbol, ir a la reunión del colegio, hacerle la comida, sí, todo ese tipo de cosas se las deben dividir de manera de que aporte económicamente, pues también sienta que la que no está aportando, el que no está aportando, pues también haga algo de trabajo, ¿sí? O sea, acá en Colombia todo se fija por mitad, a no ser que se demuestre que una de las partes gane más dinero y pueda dar un poco más para mejorarle la vida al menor, pero todos los casos son diferentes.
Okay, so yeah, under the law, there really is no minimum amount that somebody would have to contribute, or one of the parents would have to contribute. Instead, what they do is, if one of the parents can't contribute, just because they're in an inferior economic position, then they must contribute in other ways. And Vanessa was giving some examples. Take the kid to school, pick them up from school, take them to soccer practice, do some cooking, things like that. So the answer to the question is there is no minimum, other than there is an expectation that both parents contribute to the quality of life of the child.
Una aclaración. Bueno, en cuanto al sueldo de las partes, no le pueden descontar más del 50% de lo que gane la persona para aportar a esas cuotas alimentarias. Ejemplo, si gana un salario mínimo, no le pueden quitar más de la mitad de ese salario y se divide en el número de responsabilidades, o sea, hijos. Eso también hay que aclararlo. O sea, todo eso es que el derecho de familia es un poco complejo, entonces cada caso es diferente, pero a la persona no la pueden dejar sin sueldo para aportar a cuotas alimentarias. Todo eso se tiene en cuenta.
Okay, so the other thing that she wanted to put an emphasis on, number one, she puts it in context by saying that a family law here in Colombia is pretty complex, but by law, one of the parents, you can't order them to pay more than 50% of what they make, right? So if they make, $500 a month, the maximum that they could ever be ordered to pay would be $250.
And that's for foreigners?
¿Eso es para extranjeros también?
Todo, tanto extranjeros como colombianos, se rige la misma ley. Y si no se cumple acá, en cada país hay tratados internacionales donde se deben llamar a cumplir. Es que eso es tanto derecho civil, se mezcla cuando son con extranjeros, se mezcla con el derecho internacional privado y se logran llegar a acuerdos, pero las mismas reglas son las del Código Civil colombiano, porque si es acá en Colombia.
So yeah, it applies to everybody, whether you're an expat foreigner, Colombian, and if you leave the country and you're not complying with the obligation, there are treaties that exist that can be used to compel you to comply with the court ordered obligations. And this I can say I know that Colombia and the United States do have such a treaty.
So that means guys that leave, you think you leave Colombia, you don't have to pay anymore, they will find you like child support or find you in the States, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they can be hauled into court there in the States, and be held responsible under the court order that was issued here in Colombia.
Okay, that's good info. And guys better know. And the more you make, the more they're going to take. So if you make 100,000 a month, the max they can get is 500,000. Okay. What factors increase or decrease the amount?
¿Qué factores usan las cortes para incrementar o bajar el monto del aporte, de la obligación?
Depende de cada caso en particular. Ejemplo, si es una familia, bueno, acá en Colombia se miden por estratos, ¿no? Que sea estrato 2, que entre el padre y madre gane cada uno un salario mínimo, pero la madre tenga otros ingresos o el padre tenga otros ingresos y el nivel de vida del hijo pues sea especial, por ejemplo, tenga que ir a cursos de natación, cosas así, pues se miran todos esos factores. El juez o el defensor de familia lo que mira es el menor, las necesidades del menor y también los ingresos de los padres. Se puede decir, se puede bajar una cuota alimentaria de alguno de los padres o padrastro, demostrando que tiene otros gastos, como por ejemplo otros hijos, o por ejemplo otros gastos que sean netamente muy necesarios, pues así las logran bajar, o demostrando que la otra parte está ocultando ingresos. O sea, es que todo es de factores.
Okay. So there's many factors that go into it, but the I guess the short answer is, to keep it simple, is obviously number one, it's the income of the parents, okay, but more importantly, what they really look at is what is in the best interest of the child, okay, and what kind of style of life was this child accustomed to, prior to the breakup, and that's really what's going to determine how much needs to be paid, right? Because if you have a child, or the child is used to going to a high-end private school, and is already in 10th grade, well, they're not going to let it happened that he goes now to, like, let's say, a public school, because it's not in the best interest of the child. It's not conforming with the lifestyle that child was used to.
Gotcha. That sounds like kind of like when you get divorced. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there any differences between a foreigner and another Colombiano?
In terms of what?
in terms of payment. I mean, the law is the law, right? They don't have to, if you're a foreigner, you don't have to pay more. It doesn't matter whether or not you're a foreigner or you are another Colombian.
Que, la próxima pregunta creo que aclara de que cierto que no hay ninguna diferencia de que si el padre o la madre son de, digamos, Canadá o Estados Unidos o si son colombianos, ¿verdad? ¿Se trata igual o lo tratan diferente?
Igual,
It's the same.
porque el niño, o sea, el caso se llevaría en Colombia. O sea, entonces o sea, es un factor de territorio. Entonces se rige por Colombia. Factor fuera de si el niño estuviera, por ejemplo, en España y el padre estuviera acá y la madre fuera, o sea, depende, pero si es acá en Colombia, se rige por el Código Civil colombiano.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the law is going to treat whether you're a foreigner or Colombian the exact same way.
Okay, and just to specify the next question, is just clarifying, it doesn't matter if they're a tourist, a temporary resident, or a permanent resident. It's lo mismo, it's the same.
Y para clarificar, no importa de que, digamos, están aquí como de turista o, digamos, de una residencia temporal como, digamos, una visa de nomádica o si son residentes permanentes.
O sea, es que, mira, tenemos que aclarar algo y tenemos que ser muy enfáticos en eso y decirle a la gente.
Déjame decir eso.
Sí.
She wants to put an emphasis on this to make this very important clarification. Okay, dale.
Que para que un caso de que un padrastro, una madrastra sea llamado en cuota alimentaria en Colombia, yo ya les dije que se deberían demostrar los factores que son afectivo, tiempo de convivencia. O sea, no se puede mostrar a alguien que viva lejos a que es padrastro de un niño que vive acá en Colombia. No, o sea, si vive constantemente, convive, le envía dinero, actúa como el padre. Cumple ese rol, va al colegio, lo acompaña, sí, pero que venga esporádicamente, no se pueden probar esos tipos de casos. Es muy difícil por el factor del tiempo.
So yeah, Rod, to answer your question, sure, there is a difference between, let's say, somebody that comes here on a tourist visa, and we all know that you're allowed basically 180 days a year. That's not enough. Because it's considered to be sporadic. Let's say you come down here in January, you meet somebody mid-January, you decide to move in, but you leave in March. That's not going to cut it, right? That's not enough time. So necessarily, it would have to be either a long-term resident or a permanent resident.
Caso muy diferente si fuera el padre de sangre o el padre adoptivo o el padre, ¿sí? Ese es un caso muy diferente. Pero los padrastros, o sea, como he dicho, los padrastros para que se declaren, eso tiene que llevar un proceso muy riguroso y son casos específicos.
Of course, this applies only to step-parent type relationships. You come down here, you meet somebody, and in that first week, I don't know, she ends up pregnant. That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah,
that's now your biological child. Yeah.
Okay. Now, these my next question we've already answered, but just to put it out here, because I see a couple of people saying, no way does the government in Colombia deal with the government in the United States, and from what I'm understanding, you said it does. So this question is if the foreigner leaves Colombia, can the Colombian order be enforced in the United States?
It can be enforced. Now I will make an emphasis on this though. It would cost a lot of money to enforce it, and it would be very difficult to enforce it, right? So, for example, and I'll speak from personal experience. My father passed away in Brazil. Okay, Brazil and the United States have a treaty, have an agreement where court orders from the United States can be enforced in Brazil and vice versa. Okay, court orders in Brazil can be enforced in the United States, and this also applies to things like wills and trusts. Okay, well, he had a will that's recognized by the United States. It's also recognized by Brazil, but good luck to me trying to enforce that down there because it becomes incredibly expensive. And so the same thing applies if somebody from down there were to try and enforce a court order up in the U.S. So yeah, it can be done. It can be done. Now, is it practical? Well, probably not.
Okay, understood. And then I'm going to skip the next question and go to, could an obligation affect future visas or the ability to re-enter Colombia?
Una obligación que ya ha sido adjudicada por la Corte, que no ha sido cumplida, ¿puede afectar eso visas en el futuro o la habilidad de regresar a Colombia si no se han cumplido?
Usualmente ese tema, pues como el tema de los padrastros es nuevo, no se han dado en torno a padrastros. Cuando ya son padres, acá en Colombia, a los colombianos los reportan a una red que se llama el REDAM, que ahí van los morosos de cuota alimentaria y eso trae muy graves consecuencias acá en Colombia. Internacionalmente, como te digo, si se logra demostrar que no se está cumpliendo, pues hay que mirar mecanismos de, según el país que esté, la persona para obligarlo a pagar esa cuota alimentaria.
Pero no les afectaría la habilidad de digamos,
por ahora no.
Okay.
No, eso no, en la ley de migración no está.
Okay,
no está
yeah, it wouldn't really affect it because it's we're talking about family law, right? Which is over here, and immigration law is over there, and the two aren't working in conjunction with each other. But she wants to put an emphasis on the fact that especially if it's a biological child, when that person does return to Colombia, yeah, they're not going to be turned away. But now that they're here, then there can be some pretty serious consequences from the family law side. From the step parent side of things, this is kind of a new, I guess, cases of first impression down here. So the law hasn't really been defined as to how it would affect somebody returning to Colombia after not having complied with a court order regarding a stepchild.
Aunque puedo hacer una salvedad, ¿no? Y es que si, por ejemplo, el padre o la madre del niño que no quieren responder por la cuota alimentaria y la persona tiene procesos, por ejemplo, migratorios, yo personalmente como abogada migratoria le aconsejaría a mi cliente, ¿no? Y le diría, mandemos al Ministerio de Relaciones Exteriores el fallo donde la persona no cumple para ponerle una restricción, pero usualmente no se hace. Yo lo haría si el caso lo meritara. Por eso paguen las cuotas alimentarias.
Yeah. So what she's saying is, and what she would also do is if she had a client who was undergoing, the immigration process, right? Either getting their permanent residency or some sort of a nomad visa or something like that, is go ahead and comply with whatever court order is in place. Because if not, they can get reported, and then it could affect the whole process of getting that, let's say, permanent residency or retirement visa or whatever the case may be.
Okay. My next section is on protecting the foreigner, you, the viewer. So, how can a foreigner avoid becoming a parent of upbringing without even realizing it?
¿Cómo un extranjero puede evitar llegar al punto donde se consideran ser, digamos, un padrastro o madrastra? En otras palabras, ¿cómo una persona se puede proteger contra ese, digamos, riesgo?
Pues mira, o sea, el riesgo está en encariñarse con los hijastros. Ahí está. O sea, pues eso sí cada quien lo debe manejar, porque legalmente, o sea, ¿cómo vas a impedir que tú tengas una novia, una esposa, y tú pues aislar a la persona, a los hijos? Pues eso sí ya sería que cada persona pues le hable con su pareja y le diga, bueno, hagamos un documento que se lleve a notaría donde diga que pues yo no soy responsable de tus hijos y ya se puede hacer un documento, pero es muy difícil porque ¿cómo le va a decir usted a su pareja eso? De una vez van a haber problemas. O sea, si cada quien tiene como la capacidad de hablar esos temas antes de comenzar una relación, pues eso sí es de cada cual.
Entonces, sí, I'm going to ask her a follow-up question real quick, Rob. Entonces, digamos, hay una pareja, se enamoran, lo que sea, digamos, la mujer tiene un hijo. Si no viven juntos y el novio no aporta, digamos, económicamente al niño, ahí no, ¿verdad? Ahí no se va. Okay, so basically, there's a couple different ways to do it. Number one is if you want to live together, and take that relationship to the next level, you can do a prenup, or the equivalent to a prenuptial agreement. It's basically a contract that you would do. But what she's saying is even with that in place, it's kind of difficult to enforce it, right? Then the other way is I think really the more obvious one, right? Is don't live together and do not contribute economically to the welfare of that your partner's child. If you don't do those two things, then there's no way that you could ever be considered to be a step parent.
Okay, I think you answered the next two questions, which were, would a written agreement with the partner help avoid the responsibility, and does living in separate locations help eliminate that?
Yeah, if you don't live together, then that pretty much eliminates it.
Okay, guys, don't get a place. Stop sharing these places right off the bat. Okay.
Yeah, I actually see that a lot. I mean, just to throw it out there. They show up a week later. They're living with them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they moved the man. They moved the girl in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then that creates a problem because they leave after 90 days or 180 days, and I've seen situations where the woman gets to keep living there until the landlords can finally kick her out. But
wow. Yeah. Okay. Be careful, guys. Okay. If the biological father is already paying child support, can the stepfather still be required to pay?
Si el padre biológico ya está aportando y está cumpliendo con su obligación por ser el padre biológico, también pueden hacer que el digamos padrastro también aporte, o eso lo elimina esa obligación.
Usualmente, o sea, sería ilógico, porque en Colombia, en derecho civil familia, los responsables de su hijo pues son padre y madre. O sea, casos específicos donde el padrastro quisiera hacer parte, eso sí es voluntario. O sea, es voluntario que diga, hey, yo conozco a este niño desde los 6 meses, me encariñé y quiero ayudar a pelear la custodia, involucrarme, ¿sí? O sea, son casos muy fortuitos, pero usualmente la responsabilidad es de padre y madre.
All
Y
right,
se solucionan las situaciones de padre y madre del menor. Ya que falta el padre o la madre, pues son factores diferentes.
So this is very similar to most jurisdictions in the United States. The responsibility, generally speaking, for the care and welfare of the child is from the biological mother and the biological father, right? So if the both parents are contributing to the maintenance and to the welfare and the child support of that child, then the boyfriend is not going to be expected to also contribute.
Okay, and I think my next two questions have already been answered too. Questions about the rights, not just obligations. If a judge declares the foreigner a parent of upbringing, do they obtain parental rights, visits, and can make decisions about the child?
Sí, cuando en los casos cuando hay una orden judicial diciendo que este señor es el padrastro del niño, ese señor adquiere algún derecho sobre el niño, de, digamos, visitación, de hacer decisiones sobre su cuidado médico, sus estudios, etcétera.
Claro, o sea, si la persona se involucró y está haciendo el rol de la figura paterna, en este caso, pues está presente en todo ese tipo de cosas, ya son hijos de crianza, ¿sí? Lo que sería ese menor para un hijo de crianza. Por ende, tiene obligaciones, pero pues también tiene sus derechos. Y acá quiero ser muy enfática, los hijos de crianza también entran en las herencias,
Okay.
¿sí? Pero también los hijos de crianza son responsables si los padres en la vejez necesitan de su ayuda. Eso hay responsabilidad para los dos.
So yes, absolutely, you being right. Once a court has determined that you are obligated as a parent, you get all the rights as if you were the biological parent. Okay. In addition to that, and it's important to realize this is that
David, you're going a little bit underwater.
What's that?
Your signal is, I guess your signal went down a little bit.
Mine?
Sounds like you're underwater a little bit and you're freezing.
Can you see me now?
Coming and going, not enough to hear the full answer.
What was the last thing that you heard me say?
No, I can hear you. It's just, okay, good. Yeah, I don't think she can hear you either.
You can't hear me?
Vanessa, can you hear him? It's just like you're underwater. You may need to go.
Can you, David?
Huh.
Wait a minute. Now say something, David. Looks like your screen cleared up.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay, you're back. Okay.
All right. So what I was saying is that once a court order is obtained, adjudicating you as a parent, it's almost like in the United States an adoption. Once you legally adopt a child, you get all the same parental rights that the biological parent would have had. I hope that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I got it. It still got a little bit underwater a little bit. Let me jump through because I expected to be out of here and I don't want to hold anybody too late either. I expected to stop at 7. But there's the next question I know I wanted to hit. It says, if a stepfather must pay, can he request rights over the child? So if the stepfather is paying, I'm sorry, if the stepfather is paying, can he request any rights over the child? Does he have any rights? It's almost like the whole other.
Well, I think that was the previous question, wasn't it?
I think it was all answered all together. Some of these are like a question and then like breakdowns of the questions. Okay, so Let me skip through here a little bit. Let's do this. Let me see what else is here, guys, and I'm gonna jump in here and see if there's a couple of questions. If you want, David, if you can scroll through the comment section and see if there's anything that you think we haven't touched on yet that's valuable.
I don't know how to do that. Oh, it says comments. Oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm. And if you tell me which one it is, I can click on it and highlight it. May go back a little bit though.
I don't really see any questions, just general comments.
Okay. Let me see what else here. Final advice, because I'm gonna have to lock this down now. Final advice. What's the most common mistakes foreigners make regarding this law?
¿Cuál es digamos, el error más común que vos ves que extranjeros hacen en términos del derecho familiar? ¿Qué es lo que entienden? O...
Sí, o sea, a ver, lo más común es ser muy confiado. Porque si usted es extranjero...
Déjame contestar eso súper rápido, porque eso es parte de lo que Frog siempre habla. The most common, and this is something that you always talk about, Rob, I've seen some of your videos, is that you're too trusting. Dar papaya. Estás dando demasiado papaya. Okay, dale.
Sí, muchas veces hay personas malintencionadas y se aprovechan de personas que, por ejemplo, aportan económicamente, están ahí y están por un fin más que todo económico. Entonces yo les digo, no sean ingenuos y analicen bien a la persona con la cual usted quiere iniciar una relación seria. Si esa persona sí quiere eso. Y después sí denle la confianza.
So just basically it is that it's just being too generous. Because look, I mean, we're down in Colombia, and obviously not everybody does this, but there are some people that will take advantage of you, and they will use whatever means necessary to take that advantage of you, even if it includes their kids. And unfortunately, you've got some very generous, usually men, that they come down here and they think that they're doing the right thing. They think that they're falling in love and all this, but instead they're being taken advantage of.
I like the way you phrase that. They think they're falling in love. Some guys, yeah, some guys are kind of trusting. Everybody's different, but these are my last final questions to summarize too. What practical steps should a U.S. citizen take to protect themselves overall?
¿Qué tipos de pasos prácticamente puede tomar un extranjero para protegerse, en tu opinión?
Para protegerse en cuanto a que se ha involucrado en situaciones de uniones maritales y después con bienes, bueno, lo primero es ser muy clara con la pareja, mirar bien y si ya llegan a un acuerdo, hacer un documento que se llama un tipo de capitulaciones donde se fijan ese tipo de cosas, responsabilidades, aportes y todo. Lo que uno como abogado recomienda, ¿no? Es eso, antes de, háblenlo y blíndese. O sea, blíndese.
So the very first piece of advice, and I think we already touched on this, excuse me, is if you are starting to get into a relationship, you just got to be very clear about what the expectations are, what it is that you're looking for, and understand what it is that I'm just going to use the word she because that's the majority of the situations. What is she's looking for, and then of course, as we talked about earlier, there is that document which is similar to a prenuptial agreement, that contract. That can be done. So that'd be one piece of advice.
Okay. I have a couple of other questions, but on that subject, does Vanessa handle whatever that agreement is, a prenup or whatever it's called?
Rob quiere saber si vos haces esos documentos, esos arreglos, para que no haya
Claro,
un malentendido.
o sea,
Sure, of
en
course.
mi política es siempre ir a prevenir para que después no vengan problemas mayores. Y eso se hace en torno a todo. Capitulaciones, cuando van a comprar una propiedad, todo eso antes de blindarse. Y ya
So
no se van a
she,
presentar problemas.
so her legal philosophy is prevention, right? Whether it be what we're talking about now with like relationships, but anything with business, buying property, etc. And yes, she handles all that stuff.
There you go, guys. If you need that document, is it called a prenup or was it called something else?
It's called a capitulación, which I don't know what the what the translation of that is in English.
Capitulación es como un documento en
Es
el
como un
cual se
contrato,
fijan ese
¿verdad?
sí,
It's like a
preventivo,
contract.
sobre todo para los bienes y obligaciones en los matrimonios, convivencias, todo eso, para proteger y blindarse.
Yeah, it's basically a contract. I just use the word prenup because a lot of people are familiar with what that type of contract is and what it's designed for. But it's a contract.
I get it. I get it. Two last questions. What documents, messages, or behaviors could be used as proof of a parental role?
¿Qué tipo de documentos, mensajes y otras cosas así tangibles se pueden usar para demostrar de que sí hay una obligación de padre o madre hacia el hijo?
Hacia el menor, o sea, en torno a padrastros, se puede decir
Sí, de
que
padrastros, solamente
envíos de dinero, acompañamientos a eventos de escuela, acompañamientos en seguro médico, toda la parte de estar presente, ¿sí? O sea, para que se llegue a dictaminar es que se demuestre que la persona actúa como el padre o madre de ese menor, o sea, que haga el papel, el rol. Pero reitero, es muy difícil demostrar que una persona a distancia pues se haga cargo de otra. O sea, es muy complejo. Tendría que estar en territorio, o sea, en Colombia o allá en el país en el que estén para que se cree el vínculo. Eso es lo mismo que pasa cuando en los matrimonios y en las uniones para reclamar bienes. O sea, tiene que haber como la convivencia, la parte afectiva y la parte económica.
Okay. Yeah. So really, any type of documentation, videos, chat, and all that demonstrate that there is a nexus between the step parent and the child is enough to prove it, right? So examples of that are, you got videos of throwing them a birthday party, or taking them to school, or they're in your contact list and you chat with them. Or you start calling them hijo, hija, right? All that stuff. However, if it's all this is being done, let's say, while the potential stepfather is not even in Colombia, it's a little bit more difficult than when it happens while they're here. But yeah, all that stuff can be used, and it's very similar to when somebody gets married to, let's say, a Colombian, what the U.S. Embassy requires to show that the marriage is actually legitimate and there's no fraud, right? So all the text messages, videos, and everything. So it's kind of the same concept.
Oh, okay. And guys, you hear that? I mean, be careful with your messages. We'll send you pictures. You got birthday celebrations. Hear me and my family. That could be used by someone nefarious. I'm not saying all women are going to do this, but someone that's trying to take advantage of you could start compiling that data from the time you land. They pick you up at the airport, and they can start from there. I think we're done there, but one last question that I had from somebody in the message. Well, it didn't come from the message. It came from something somebody wrote. Well, my girl is Venezuelan. What happens if the girl is Venezuelan? Does that matter in Colombia?
¿Qué pasa si la mujer es de Venezuela?
O
Creo que hay
sea,
que calificarlo, ¿verdad? Porque hay venezolanas que están aquí, digamos, irregular y hay las que sí están aquí con sus documentos.
sí, ya la mayoría, porque para los venezolanos, por un tratado que tienen humanitario, se les dan los papeles mucho más fácil, por lo que ellos están en la situación en la que están. Entonces ellos tienen un régimen migratorio diferente y se les da la residencia mucho más fácil que al resto.
Yeah.
Pero
No,
pues
pero
obviamente sí,
la pregunta era de que con este tema de padrastro o madrastra, es diferente si la mujer es de Venezuela,
pues sí es,
que en cambio que si fuera de Colombia. Obvio.
no, si es venezolano y está radicado acá, pues obviamente también, o sea,
Ah,
su
okay.
residencia es acá, rige también,
Entiendo. Okay.
sí.
So yeah, so basically, what it is if she's Venezuelan and she's a resident here, she's a Colombian, so it gets treated the same way. The few that are here, let's say illegally, because there are some, then it makes it more complicated. But it would be kind of rare to I guess to meet one of them.
Okay, and these guys aren't going to know what their citizenship is. But
Right.
this is one that stuck out by me by T-Mac right here. That's on the screen. Says, I think you're missing the common law factor. They can not only request child support, but they can also claim common law marriage. That's true, right? Because what are the parameters to be considered common law? And if we didn't touch on it already.
So we actually did it at the beginning, right? So Colombia will recognize a common law marriage after 2 years, and it's got to be an uninterrupted and vigorous, cohabitating type of a situation. In other words, you're living together. You're raising the kid together, and so insofar as that will be 2 payments goes, yeah, of course. There could be a situation where you could be ordered to pay spousal support as well as child support.
Okay, and before I get out of here, since I have the knowledge here, and I don't know if you heard me earlier, but one case that's troubled me for years has been the murder of Timothy Reed, April 20th, 2021, 4 years ago, in Barranquilla. The lady he was dating, he met her January 20th. He was murdered on April the 20th. They knew each other for 3 months. She claimed common law. She's still, as far as I know, still living in his property, which he paid 180,000 USD to purchase. It was a restaurant downstairs and apartments upstairs. This is in Barranquilla. Not sure if you're familiar with that case, but how the hell did she get away with claiming common law marriage after 3 months? And they only lived together. Matter of fact, he bought the place on Friday. He was murdered on Monday. So they couldn't have lived together for any period of time. They didn't live together prior.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with that. Iván, ese es el caso que estábamos hablando el otro día del señor en Barranquilla que solamente estaba junto con su enamorada por 3 meses. Compró su casa el viernes, el domingo lo mataron y ahora ella se quedó con la casa porque está diciendo que tenían, que estaban básicamente casados. Y lo que Rob está preguntando es cómo puede ser de que ella pueda hacer eso si ni siquiera han llegado digamos, a los 2 años. Era solamente 3 meses. Y si te recuerdas, hablamos de eso.
Sí, eso es un caso, yo no lo sabía. Mira, no sé si la persona, o sea, usualmente porque eso se lleva un proceso, o sea, eso tiene que ser un proceso judicial y el juez tiene que llamar a otros herederos, eso hay un tiempo y se presenta, por ejemplo, hijos, tienen que comparecer o se hacen para que para que se hagan cargo de esa herencia. y ella tiene que demostrar que sí, en efecto, llevan 2 años. O sea, pues yo no sé de ese caso, si me pueden informar si eso sí pasó realmente, me gustaría revisarlo, porque eso no está bien. O
Yeah,
sea,
so
para que
she,
se dé eso, tiene que haber un proceso judicial y tiene que demostrarse la convivencia.
so what Vanessa's basically saying is she's not very familiar with the case, and so she would definitely need more information about it, so that she can research it and kind of investigate to see exactly what's going on there. But on the surface, no, that shouldn't be the case because it was only 3 months. It's 2 years. 2 years is the mark. So, but it's yeah, it require a lot more looking into really to kind of figure out exactly what's going on with that.
Yeah, one other question. Is it true that if a foreigner passes there or anybody passes there, they have to be buried within 2 days?
Es cierto de que si cuando alguien muere acá, que sea de extranjero o de acá, tienen que ser enterrados dentro de 2 días.
No, eso depende del caso. O sea, eso depende del caso. Por ejemplo, si es homicidio, si es un homicidio, no, o sea, ni siquiera se puede cremar, ni siquiera todo se lleva. No, depende. Hay gente que dura más tiempo.
Pero no hay
Eso
ninguna ley
no.
que dice. Yeah, no, there's no law. It's probably more of a tradition.
Well, that's what this young lady that he was dating told the gentleman who's no longer here, his family, his kids. She called the day before and said, we're doing a funeral tomorrow. Here's the Zoom link. Anyway, that one still troubled me. And I'm sorry, one last question. How difficult is it to hire a private investigator? Like if I wanted to hire a private investigator in Barranquilla to go investigate this, how much would it cost?
Okay. Actually, I could probably help you out with that. But ¿qué tan difícil es de contratar a un investigador privado, digamos, para ir a Barranquilla, para ir a mirar este caso de que estamos hablando?
Pues no es nada difícil. También muchos abogados tienen en sus despachos investigadores o hay agencias donde usted contrata.
¿Y qué tan caro, qué tan
Sí.
costoso es?
Pues depende, o sea, todo depende del caso, pero oscila de un salario mínimo hacia arriba, o sea, todo en Colombia, cualquier proceso siempre está de un salario mínimo hacia arriba.
So it's not hard at all. I mean, there's plenty of private investigators that work for law firms. A lot of them, have their own, gigs. And as far as the cost goes, really, it's just going to depend on the case and what it is that you wanting to do, right? So it's definitely going to be at least the minimum wage, and then up to what would be normal. I would say, let's say it's a 2-week thing. I'd probably say it costs maybe $1,500.
Okay.
Yo pensaría, David, que, o sea,
That
necesito
includes.
saber del caso,
Sí.
porque hay varias cosas que se pueden hacer, si es real, ¿no?
Yeah.
Si es real, para poder investigar qué pasó, o sea, porque tiene
What
que
she
haber
wants
una
to do
respuesta.
is maybe you guys can get together later, and you can kind of fill her in a little bit more because it looks like you're very knowledgeable about the Reed case, because she'd like to take a look at it.
Okay, absolutely. I do have another question that just dawned on me before we get out of here too, because this happens to a lot of guys go down, they hop on Tinder. If you watch me, you know what I think about Tinder. They're using this as their business. It's a fish in a barrel. You guys are going on there hooking up with these girls. Anyway, let's say a guy did go down, because they're going to continue to do it. They're going to meet a girl online or in the club or wherever. They're going to bring her back to their place. They're going to get drunk. What's their recourse? And what's the process? Should they hire an investigator to try to find this girl? Because obviously she's probably using wrong names, fake IDs, and what should that person do? What do you suggest? Both of you. Question for both of you.
Well, I'll throw it to her first. En los casos donde vienen acá y pues sí, se conocen a alguien en una de las plataformas o una de las aplicaciones y las traen a su hotel o a su Airbnb o lo que sea y paran que los droguen con escopalomine o lo que sea, ¿verdad? ¿Hay algún remedio para ese, digamos, víctima? ¿Será que debe de contratar a un investigador para ir a encontrar a la chica? ¿O qué es lo que vos pensáis de eso?
No. Aquí lo que yo les, eso yo ya doy, bueno, eso se debe colocar la denuncia ante la Fiscalía General de la Nación. La Fiscalía General de la Nación es un ente que está obligado a proteger y a recibir las denuncias tanto nacionales como extranjeros y a brindar una investigación, porque la Constitución de Colombia le da el derecho fundamental del debido proceso y del acceso a la justicia a los colombianos y a los extranjeros dentro de Colombia. Entonces, todo eso son delitos que se deben denunciar.
Okay. So, for her part of the answer, it's if that happens, you need to report it with the Fiscalía, which is the district attorney's office, or in some states it's called the Commonwealth Attorney, or in Florida it's called the state attorney, but it's the same thing. The prosecutors. That's who you have to report it to, because they are obligated under the Constitution of Colombia to actually investigate the case, try and find out who the person is, et cetera, et cetera. So if that does happen to you, call us and we can help you make that report. My side of the answer is going to be simply don't do it. If you want to use Tinder and somebody is responding to you, usually it's not the girl, okay? And if they're insisting that you meet at your place within the first 5 or 6 hours, that's a big, huge red flag. Down here in Colombia, when you meet a girl, it's got to be at least 2 or 3 weeks before you even think about seeing the other person's house or things like that. You usually start it all off very slowly, having coffee, having some lunch here and there, some conversations, getting to know each other, that sort of thing. So that's what I would recommend, not to bring them back.
Yeah, and stay off the apps anyway. I mean,
right.
And learn Spanish. Yo lo poquito español, okay, pero es bastante. I can be understood, but I'm not fluent like you guys, okay? But still, it's enough. You see a girl. I would say for anybody who wants to meet a girl there, meet her regularly. Live there. Go to the same corner stores. Go to the same Jumbo on what is it, Las Vegas, where they know you, they see you come in all the time. You're a regular, and learn Spanish and start talking to them. Simple as that. Start talking to them. Go to the grocery store. I go to the grocery store up the street. It's a whole lot closer. But I got my lady, so I'm blessed enough already. But let me say thank you, Vanessa. Thank you so much. Thank you, David, for jumping on. I really, really appreciate this. Maybe we can do this again. I don't know what's up. Let me apologize to the viewers for, I know they're hearing an echo now from at least myself and Vanessa. I don't know why. This is why I don't like doing lives. It's out of my control. We're trying to figure out stuff on the fly. And then we're losing people. That's why I like recording it. But maybe next time we'll do something via Zoom. Then we can record it, edit it, and put it back up. So if you guys are willing to come back on,
sure,
that'd be awesome. David, you made this night. We couldn't have done it without you. So much thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And gracias, Vanessa. Gracias por su tiempo. Gracias. Okay. So we're going to cut it out now. Leave the comments. Maybe if you guys can follow up in the comment section, or if Vanessa can look in the comment section, and guys and girls, viewers, type your message under this video when it posts in Spanish. Put it in español, okay? And then she can read it, and then maybe she'll reply in Spanish. You can just refer. It's easy to cut and paste it and put it in Spanish. Go to any AI, or of course Google Translate. But I'm going to get out of here now, guys. Again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. David, Vanessa, thank you again. David, please, you can entiendo. Gracias, Vanessa, por su tiempo. Muchas gracias. Okay.
Con mucho
guys.
gusto.
Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna get out of here now. Thank you to all the viewers. Appreciate
Good
you guys too. Rosario. Gracias. Okay, guys. We're gonna get out.
Bye.
Bye-bye.